Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here helping small business owners, entrepreneurs, professional women to find that balance in their lives where they're living their success stories, where they are doing those things that they find to be joyful, fulfilling, and they have a life that is successful, but it's also holistic in how it looks at um, all of the areas of their lives, not just their work, right? So today I wanted to, kind of come at y'all with something a little different. I was listening to a clip from a relationship podcast that I often see clips from on social media. And in the clip, one of the gentlemen was talking about how in relationships a lot of times we don't know ourselves well enough to then get into a healthy relationship, right? We don't know enough about ourselves to know our worth and then, find someone who is compatible with us because we don't know us. And in that conversation, he asked a couple of questions that made me think about job interviews. So, like when you go on a job interview, typically there are standard questions that are asked on a job interview. And you answer those questions, of course, with the intention of getting the job, right? And a lot of those questions are dreaded. People talk about all the time how they hate those interview questions, but really thinking about it in that perspective, in a different perspective, um, excuse me, made me think about how important those questions actually are for us to know the real answers to them for ourselves, like not for anyone else, but really for ourselves, so that we can be one, addressing who we are and understanding who we are, have a deeper relationship with self. Two, have a deeper relationship with our business or our career. And three, um, be in a position where we can then use that information to connect with the right people, whether that is the right client, the right job, the right, friendships, the right romantic situation. But it all starts with knowing ourselves. It all starts with taking the time to know ourselves. And often we really don't take that time. We really don't do the things that we need to do to be able to say that we are knowledgeable of ourselves and that we are really working from that knowledge, because sometimes we're the problem and we don't see it. And we go to other people and they try to show it to us that, well, maybe you should have, handled this a little bit differently, or, and we're not seeing it because we're not seeing ourselves in our fullness. So these are a couple of the typical interview questions that came to mind, and that I think that you should think about interviewing yourself. So this is my homework for you to interview yourself and really sit down, get some quiet time, excuse me, get some quiet time and reflect on these things and get an answer for yourself. So the first one is the dreaded tell me about yourself. So, of course, you go into the interview, tell me about yourself. How do you sum yourself up, right? Who are you? Tell me about yourself. But the reality is, who are you? Like, really, for you, who are you? How would you answer that question? Is that question dreaded so much because we don't think about it? We don't know what that looks like for us. The next question, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, really, like, if you sat down, where do you see yourself? What is the big picture? What is the goal? Where are you going? Because, again, a lot of times we're just aimlessly moving without a bigger picture or objective. And then we get frustrated when we're not seeing success, but we have not defined what success looks like. Why are you a good fit for this position? And this position could be so many different things, right? It could be the business that you're in, it could be the position that you hold if you're um, in a traditional employment situation. It could be a role that you hold. So, wife, mother, friend. You could look at it from all those different perspectives, but why are you a good fit for this position? The next one, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker or client and how you resolved it. What are your conflict resolution skills looking like, sis? Because I know I see a lot of crazy situations on social media, um, from, business owners, from people that are in careers where you can't tell a person that they're not in the wrong because they are so convicted that they are right. But mm, mm. And if you are in a position, especially as a business owner, where you are constantly in conflict, you might want to sit with that question for a little while. You may want to sit and think about, what are your conflict resolution skills looking like? How, you know, are there things that are triggering you, right? I know for entrepreneurs, a lot of times price can be triggering. Like when people have questions around price, sometimes they're not questioning your price, they just have questions that are about price. Those are two different things. But as entrepreneurs, sometimes we hear them the same. So that's a real evaluation point of, am I creating conflict because I have not resolved my sensitivity around pricing or whatever the thing may be, right? And then how would you handle a problem or task that you've never done before or that you don't have experience with? I think that that's a really, really good one because a lot of times when we don't know, we either freeze up and we back away, or we may jump in but not have the information we need. We may have a fear of asking for help. Um, but that's all things to learn about yourself. That's all things that are valuable pieces of information about yourself. And that's not to say, I don't want to put this as not to say like learning about yourself does not mean that there's something wrong with you. It does not diminish your worth. It's just understanding this is how I work and this is who I am in this moment. And there's some things that you can become better at. There's some things that you can work through because we all have things that we need to resolve and heal around. There's some things that, you can strengthen your skill in. Um, you know, Customer service can be a learned skill, right? We don't always look at it in that way, but it can be when we start removing those triggers from our mind that make us want to, be combative in those situations as opposed to being able to put ourselves in the shoes of another person and realize that, you know what, it's a one-sided argument, or maybe I started the argument kind of by the way that I, responded to this person. Point being is that as you journey, it's important to know self. It really is important to know self because one, as you address some of the things that need to heal about you, it gets you closer to happiness. It gets you closer to fulfillment. Two, it helps you to figure out what, again, success looks like. It helps you to figure out, you know what, this is what I really want out of life. This is what I want things to look like, not just what everybody has told me. I think we spend a lot of time trying to acquire the dream life that everyone has told us we're supposed to have. And often as we get closer to that or as we start to acquire some of those pieces, then we realize we never wanted that. We were just told that that was where the finish line was. We were told that that was the prize, right? And then you get it and you're like, mm, this is not this is not it. And the reason is because it wasn't your prize. It was just the generic, yay, you did it. It was that prize. It wasn't your prize. Your prize comes from accomplishing the things that matter most to you. And so it all starts with understanding self. So I want you to sit back and interview yourself and really pull out your journal and really sit with that um and you may have some aha moments. Every time I go back into like that discovery phase and really sit, I'm like, oh, I don't think I want that. I used to think I wanted that, but I don't think I want that anymore. Or, oh, my goodness, I really, really want this. Or I, I've accomplished that thing and it feels really good, right? So that reflection on just, on self, on ways that you can improve, on ways that you can get closer to what you want. That 3 to 5 year goal one is that's gonna give you so much value on what you want. And when you know what you want, it is, you get a certain sense of clarity that makes it so much easier to execute that thing and to identify what does not align with what you want. So do your homework. That's what I'm gonna leave you with is go and do your homework, ask yourself those questions. I'll put the questions in the show notes so that you can easily see them and sit and do and journal on them. Also, it's yesterday was the kickoff of the calendar detox challenge, but I allow people to join um for up to a week from the start date. So, excuse me, it's still an opportunity for you to join. Um, Absolutely one of my favorite programs because it helps to just really clear up your mind and get you focused on what matters versus everything else and get that busy work out of the way so that you can focus on the work that's going to have you productive and getting to your goals. So that is starting. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I want to share with you guys. I will be starting to do a smaller workshop each month, so a different focus. So I will share that probably on next week's episode. I will share the workshop that's going to be for October and as far as the calendar detox, if you want to get in there, get in this October one because it is going to be the last one for this year. I don't like to run programs during December, just holiday time, and people are not really focused. So it's going to be the last one for this calendar year. If not, you're going to have to wait till next year to get in there. I hate for you to do that because I want you to start off the year clean slate and focus so that you can see um, progress and productivity throughout 2025. So I will leave you with that, and y'all have a great week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at coachdannid.com.